know, 1 in 3 women will be victims of domestic violence in their lifetime.
Local and national statistics add up to what looks like a major problem. In the last 2 years, the Knoxville Salvation Army has seen a 59% increase in domestic assault cases reported by women who enter the shelter alone.
That's on top of the fact that Tennessee remains 5th in the nation for the number of women murdered by men. The numbers highlight a problem, but local domestic violence organizations say the number of reports increasing is actually a good thing.
And reporter Daniel Secton joins us tonight to tell us why.
Brandon, Beth, with October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, you might expect reports to go up, and they have. But advocates tell me that means their hard work is paying off, because more reports means more awareness.
At the YWCA in downtown Knoxville, stacks of canvases decorated by victims of domestic violence paint a picture of hope.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so we're using that as an opportunity to really reach out to those victims and let them know, hey, you do have support here.
The YWCA offers free support from safety planning to crisis intervention, even a place to stay. Within its housing program, domestic violence reports are up 20% since 2017. Calls to law enforcement are up too, but organizers say that's a good thing.
2016 to 2017, we saw over 1,000 call increase between the years. So I think that is a direct correlation to victims realizing that there are resources out there, there is hope out there, they do have support.
Over at the Salvation Army, which offers housing, meals, and 24-hour counseling, a 59% increase in domestic assault cases from this time 2 years ago, seen as hard work paying off.
We see it as a good thing because that means that more people are becoming aware of our services, and also they're reaching out for help.
Still, with Tennessee standing at 5th in the nation for women murdered by men, there's work left to be done. But both the Salvation Army and YWCA want the public to know that every statistic deserves a second look.
It could also be a good thing, simply because more people who are in need or experiencing domestic violence are aware of services available in the community, and they're getting the help they need.
And if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence and you aren't sure where to reach out, just reach out somewhere. Both groups we spoke to say in East Tennessee we're lucky because all of the groups work together to make sure that everybody gets the help they need. Brandon?